Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to the special World Architecture Day session of Glass Academy webinars brought to you in collaboration with Ethos Empowers and Saint Gobain, India. We are thrilled to have you join us for what promises to be an insightful and forward looking conversation on the role of transparency, strength, and sustainability in shaping architecture. Today's session, Strength and Sustainability Transparency in the Architecture of Tomorrow, brings together three distinguished professionals recognized for their leadership and expertise. We are honored to welcome Mr. Nikhil Richard, founder and principal architect of Richard Architecture Studio, Tenkasi. Since 2019, he has led projects across homes, resorts, healthcare, commercial spaces, and master planning with a strong emphasis on sustainability, context, and honest use of materials. Studio was awarded the Rising and Trusted Architecture and Interior Firm of the Year 2023, and he also serves as Association Head for Tenkasi District, promoting responsible practice and community engagement across South India. Welcome, Architect Nikhil.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Asim Bikash, who studied in architecture, who studied architecture at the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, and has worked with SALT Kolkata, ABRD Delhi, and Synthesis Design Studio. With experience across residential, commercial, and interior projects, he blends creativity, aesthetics, and functionality in his designs. Today, he leads Half Brick Architects in his hometown, Kolkata. Welcome, Mr. Asim. And our third speaker for today is Mr. Venugopal R., the founder and managing partner at Climacto, with over 11 years of experience in ESG and sustainability across corporate, product, and building sectors. He has led initiatives like India's first low carbon glass, a 300 product EPD program, and energy optimization in over 1,000 buildings. Actively involved in committees and including IGBC's Net Zero Carbon Panel, Mr. Venugopal continues to deliver practical and high impact climate solutions through Climacto. Welcome, Mr. Venugopal.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for having me. Yes.
From strength to sustainability, our panelists will now demonstrate how innovative glass solutions are shaping the architecture of tomorrow, transparent, resilient, and responsible. I cordially welcome you all to this special webinar. We are excited to have you with us today. And without further delay, let us begin by hearing from our panelists. We invite each of you to share a brief introduction about your journey, your current work, and your vision for creating a sustainable and transparent design. Mr. Nikhil, would you like to go first?
Yeah. And I love to use glass because my kind of approach in design is transparency. We do lots and lot of resorts, that kind of thing. So I love transparency, and we use glass extensively. So because the thing is, so we are having a good view. So we are in the Western Ghats actually. So in Western Ghats, stuffs like that, we used to use much of glasses, and yeah, that's my use of glass. I can say that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Mr. Asim?
Uh, Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for having me. My practice is called Half Brick Architects, and it's mostly deals with architecture and interior practice in Calcutta. For us, class is more like an element which connects the in and out of an architectural building. So basically, connecting the space outside the building with the interior part is a crucial part, and where we most of the architects at times we fail to do so because we consider it to be like a closed container design. So yes, we keep using glass in many of our designs, and also in interiors we have recently started using glass in in an innovative way. I'll definitely will discuss that in details, but yes, for me it's more like a screen between the in and out of an architecture.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Venugopal, would you please share?
Yes, sure. So, because Saint Gobain was my first job, and I was there for almost a decade. So, I joined as a GET and left the company as their sustainability lead. And in these 10 years, I have worked in different capacities, more than 1,000 projects. I have supported in material selection through energy simulation, daylight simulation, etc. So I'm the only black sheep in this panel because I'm not an architect. I'm a civil engineer turned sustainability guy. So my experience comes from working with a lot of architects. So I worked with so many architects that I understand the language. I can speak the language. I can work with them very closely. So I've had the privilege of leading some very prestigious projects in the country in terms of choosing glass for those projects and also in product development. So some of the new products that are being used, like the low carbon glass that's being used, I have led those projects. So that's my Saint-Gobain experience. And coming to Climacto, what I do at Climacto, it's a very young startup. It's been 5 months. So what we do is two things. Climacto stands for Climate Action Before Day Zero. So day zero is a day when we deplete all our resources. And before that, we should take action. So that is the philosophy behind the name. And we do climate action through two areas. One is corporate advisory. We help companies to decarbonize, to measure, strategize, and decarbonize their footprint. That is one thing that we do. So it's more on ESG, corporate sustainability, product sustainability, etc. That's more on the advisory side. And second, I also run an academy called Climate Academy, Climacto Academy, where we teach students and young professionals on concepts like embodied carbon, life cycle assessment, etc. So that people could transition to green jobs, which is a big market, and I would like to speak more about that. And also, existing young professionals can take up sustainability roles in their own company. So this is broadly what I do now, and yes, so this is about me and my journey with glass.
Thank you so much, sir. So excited for the webinar today. So, my first question is to Mr. Nikhil. So, thinking back to when you first got involved in architecture, was there a particular moment or experience that made you fall in love with exploring materials like glass?
Yes, actually, I can say. So that's a building designed by Philip Johnson. He's an architect. Yeah, he designed the glass house. So it's been a long time, but I love his ideas about that transparency. So we are still planning to do some glass house, but nowadays it's not possible for that transparency in India. So hopefully we are planning for another glass house in soon.
Yes, sir. So, my next question is to Mr. Asim. So, if you had to pick one project or experience that made you realize the creative potential of glass, which one would it be and what did it teach you?
Um, okay, so I guess selecting from a like a more recent project would be a more contextual in terms of learnings. Um, I would say Infosys campus in Mysore is one where we have actually, the architect has explored it in a very different way. This Although it's very easy to say that glass is giving me transparency and it's a great material to have a better light penetration in the building, but at the same time we have to face the issues like the thermal gain because of the solar radiation penetration. Also, we have to take into consideration the air pressure, the size of the glass, the temperature difference, and there is also a thing. I think Mr. Venugopal would be able to guide us in a better way. But glass also change its forms because of the temperature variation. So it warps, it bulks, and stuff like that. So I think that is one Infosys campus where the architect has used it in a very different way. And also, I'm just taking the opportunity to highlight one of my projects where we have tried using glass in interior. It's basically a sandwich of fabric and glass to give a little translucent kind of feel to the glass. So it's an amalgamation of different materials to be used in different parts of architecture, whether it's being the interior or the external part of it. Yes. So.
That's great. So thank you for sharing that. Next question is to Mr. Venugopal. So every engineer carries a story that shapes their vision. So can you share yours and how it influences the sustainable choices you make, especially when working with glass?
Great. So thanks for that question. Uh, See, when you see sustainability, it all stems down to three P's: people, planet, and performance. Profit is the word, but instead I'm using performance, right? So people, when you look at it from a glass point of view, where is glass impacting people? From their safety point of view, from their well-being and comfort point of view. From a safety point of view, you have the National Building Code, which suggests where to use what type of glass, where to use a toughened glass, laminated glass, etc. There can be a session only for that, right? And then from the the comfort point of view, all your five senses you have: the vision, the acoustic, the the in terms of smell, the indoor air quality, in terms of thermal comfort, right? All of these aspects, glass has a role to play. It can control the light coming inside. If you choose the material correctly, it can control the light coming inside, the noise coming inside, and the heat coming inside, right? So the right choice of material can impact all of this, and you can create a good comfort for your occupants if you choose it correctly, right? So that is from the people aspect. Coming from the planet aspect, of course, making a product has its own emissions. Like you make steel, cement, glass, all of them need energy and raw materials to make that product. So you need to look at it from an embodied carbon point of view. What is the carbon footprint that goes into making that product? How can we reduce it? By introducing a recyclability quotient to it called circular products. Products which are circular are nothing but after the end of life, you put something back to the loop, right? So that is a circular product. Glass is a very good circular product because it can be infinitely put back into the furnace. It's after its end of life also, it can be put back into the furnace. So that is one aspect of glass. It's recyclable, 100% recyclable. There's a recycled content in every glass that you use, to be honest with you, right? So that's the making side of sustainability. From the usage side of sustainability, when you use glass which has a performance coating, which can solar control coating, to be more technical, if it controls the heat coming inside, then the AC will have to run for lesser time to cool down the space, right? And if the energy saving is happening through by the use of right choice of material, right amount of material, then you can actually also reduce your energy bills. So that is the logic. Use the right amount of glass, use the right glass, which has a solar control property, which reduces the heat coming inside, so that your cooling efforts can go down, and that can actually save your energy bills, which actually connects to the third P, which is profits. If you actually invest in a good product with merge with a good design by architects, we have two esteemed speakers here. So they come in with the design, and from the material manufacturer, you come with innovative products. Then it can actually turn out to be a return of investment. It is an investment you're making on a better product, which can return in over a period of time. So to structure the answer, it will be three P's: people, planet, and profit. So that's my approach to sustainability, and that's how I would frame my answer. Yeah.
That was perfect, sir. So, Mr. Nikhil, you would agree with me when I say that glass carries a timeless sense of lightness and beauty, and yet it is still engineered today to deliver incredible strength. So, what recent innovations in glass make this balance between strength and elegance possible?
Yeah, so I can say that laminated glass. So laminated glass is kind of it's inspiring, I can say. So because nowadays the safety is a major priority here. So because in our area, so in 1 acre, one building will be there, and then the next acre only another building will be there. So because it's a resort kind of hilly area, that's main thing. Safety is the main thing. But at the same time, the clients or our clients are not from the local. So they are from different parts of the different parts of India, I can say. So I'm having client from Mumbai and I'm having clients from Chennai, but they are investing here. So the thing is, so I have to make sure they are very safety. That's the first thing. So at the same time, I have to make them more interesting, and I have to. So they are coming a long way just to enjoy this breeze, just to enjoy the view. So I blindly believe in that laminate glass. And even as architect Azim said, so they have used a sandwich glass. I love that too. So we used to do in interiors also. Um, yeah, so there is no doubt in that structural thing in that laminated glass, I can say.
Okay, sir. Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Asim. Sir, in what ways is glass redefining what buildings can achieve in terms of performance and strength?
Uh, I think my answer will be more like summing up the previous speaker's discussion on how glass is changing the whole, practice of architecture and design. So let me sum up in this way that, let's consider strength, insulation, and sustainability. These are the primary three things which we should be majorly looking for. This is basically breaking the conventional notion of glass to be fragile, brittle, and very weak material. So I think companies like Gobain and all, they have come up with this notion that glass can actually be used in a structural manner. So nowadays we are very comfortable working on glass force floors, which is like 12 stories high, and we don't have the fear of falling down or tripping from that area. So primarily strength, proven strength. Second one is insulation. Again, like we should not be burdening our practice or the space by just putting glasses which has no properties of reflecting the radiations or gaining the radiations, which it depends upon the climate, like the areas where the glass are using. So I think we have many materials nowadays, like double glass unit or laminated glass, or in fact nowadays you will find films which can generate electricity, which can paste it on top of the glass, so it gives you both the transparency as well as notion for uh, you know environmental friendly material. So I think for me it's more like where glass can be addressed with these kind of situations, where we can actually recognize glass to be uh, material which can be used in any part of the building, starting from the facade to the structural part. So yes, and a couple of examples is definitely the TCS Banyan Park in Mumbai is one of the building where you actually can see like a more innovative use of the glass. So yeah. So,
Sir, thank you so much for sharing that. Mr. Venugopal, in your experience, how can thoughtful use of glass make a building not just striking but also energy efficient and climate resistant, resilient? Sorry.
Great question. So many times glass is seen as a product which is aesthetic, but as an engineer, I can say it is one of the most highly engineered products, building materials that is used in the building, right? So there's an aspect of structural safety that glass can bring in, which the previous speakers also touched upon. There's lamination that is there, there's toughening that is there, which can increase the strength of the glass and also provide safety aspects to the occupants. From the sustainability standpoint, it starts from the design stage of an architect, right? Even when the project is there on the drawing board, the decisions like the window to wall ratio, how much area of glass compared to the wall is going to be there, that is a very important component for deciding what product to use. I cannot use one product which has worked well in one building in Chennai. If I repeat the same product in Delhi, or if I repeat the same product in somewhere else which is colder, it might not work, right? Like that, for a building which is fully glazed, if I choose a product, that cannot be the same product I will use for a building which has a 10% or a 20% window to wall ratio. Typically, you take a residential building, the window to wall ratio will be 10%, 20%, and sometimes if you have a large glazed area on one side, then it might go up to 30-40% as well. Commercial buildings, it goes up to 70-80% as well, in some commercial buildings. So the glass I use in a residential building and a commercial building will be different based on the window to wall ratio, based on the orientation of the building. If the building is having a longer north-south, orientation, then on the north side, I have the liberty to use products which have slightly higher solar factor as well. Because there I'm getting more natural light. So I need to let in as much natural light as possible. So there I use this terminology called selectivity. Selectivity is where you let in light but cut down the heat. For each coated glass product, there is this parameter called selectivity, which will help you understand how much light is coming divided by how much heat is coming inside. So a high selective coating means it will let in more light and less heat. So for instance, there are silver coated products. In Saint Gobain, I can even tell you the range called SKN, double silver or single silver coated products, which will have very high visible light transmission. Yeah, we say 60% light transmission means 60% of light will come inside. At the same time, the heat numbers will be lesser. What are the heat numbers? There are two parameters: solar heat gain coefficient or solar factor, and the U value, right? So these are the two heat coefficients. So the solar factor will be in the tune of zero point 0.3 or 0.32 for that 60% light transmission, which means it lets in 2x the amount of light compared to heat. So 60% is the light transmission, 30% is the heat. I'm just giving a rough number for that product. 30% is the heat transmission. Almost 2x of the light is coming compared to the heat, right? And these are all product innovations which are very climate specific. It improves the climate resilience, like you said. Imagine that there is a increase in temperature on the outside. What will be our sudden response as a occupant? We will reduce the temperature in our AC to see if it can cool faster, etc. But we are not realizing it is actually increasing the carbon footprint through your electricity consumed and the refrigerant that is getting leaked. Any HVAC will have a refrigerant leakage that will happen, right? So this refrigerant and the electricity contribute to the operational carbon footprint. So how can we make the building resilient? It starts from the drawing board. Like I said, how much is a window to wall ratio? What is the location? What is the orientation of the building? All these factors should be fed into the material selection. So that's where the thoughtfulness of material selection comes. And the architects and the green building community will need to look at these parameters of different materials. I also understand from an architect standpoint, you'll have hundreds of materials. Glass is one of the materials. You will have wood, you will have brick, you will have cement, steel. All materials are going to be used by the architect, and glass is just one of the materials. But looking at the parameters for each of these materials is very critical. So one, knowledge of the product and what is the parameter like solar factor, U value, VLT. These three parameters are critical, and these depend on the design and the window to wall ratio of the product, the location of the project, etc. So thoughtfulness starts from design and ends with the product parameters, and constant upskilling is needed on these topics and staying updated on what is the new innovation. And I think webinars like these also help in terms of staying updated. So that's my 2 cents about how to be thoughtful about material selection.
Yes, thank you. It was very insightful, especially what you explained about selectivity.
Yeah.
Mr. Asim, how would you balance aesthetics with structural performance while designing with glass?
Okay. So let me just clear one part of our thought process, which basically, when we talk about glass, the first thing which comes to our mind is decorative skin. I think we just have to move out of that zone, considering glass to be only a decorative skin, rather than making it an integral part of the design. So in my practice, in most of the cases, I don't treat glass to be like a separate element or entity in the design. So I think integration while working in design stage is where you can actually change the complete approach. You can treat the glass to be structural as well as to be aesthetic in nature. And also, Mr. Venugopal pointed out very rightly that selection in design stage is very crucial. We cannot be designing a building in Calcutta where we know in certain periods of the year we have immense load of wind, and also the temperature difference. It was not there initially, but nowadays you can see there is a huge temperature difference. So like in winter, although we don't get much of it, 10-12 degrees is what the lowest we get, but in summer actually it goes beyond 40 to 43 degrees, which was not very normal for Calcutta. So same goes for Delhi. Like we'll have to be very judicious while selecting the material. And yes, the moment we start taking this into consideration, that while designing we should be keeping glass as a primary focus. Not, I won't say a primary focus, but it will be like important part of the design. And definitely, we'll have to will move quite away from this notion that we'll have to integrate the glass later in the design. So, in my idea, it should be like it should not be a post thought after the design. It should be like a part of the design concept itself.
Very true, sir. Yes. My next question is to Mr. Nikhil. So, how do different types of glass solutions, whether it is tempered or laminated or heat strengthened, affect its structural performance?
Yeah, especially reheating the glass gives it more strength. Yeah. So while doing the facades and all, the main thing is the wind factor. And I have to say about my one of the project in Kodaikanal. So there is a study that nearly 1 billion birds die due to bird collisions in USA. This is a study for a year, 1 billion birds are dying. So I came up with a solution like, so if this is a 90-degree glass and we have to tilt it kind of 20-degree, that's it. So this will reduce the reflections and this will make uh, the bird more aware and they won't collide. So that's the thing. So we came up with this solution actually. But the thing is, it's very hard for us to execute because that's a 10 feet high glass thing and we have to keep it slightly tilted. And we have used spiders. But the thing is, aesthetically, I don't like spiders because that small patchy thing will come. So we're connecting the glass. So we came up with this solution actually. It went well. Yeah.
That is very interesting, sir. Thank you for sharing that experience. My next question is to Mr. Venugopal. Sir, you'd agree with me that glass has come such a long way at this time and age. What are the recent innovations in sustainable glass that you find most exciting and why?
Okay. So don't quote me if I'm getting biased because of saying of an experience, but there are three innovations that come to my mind quickly. One, is the size of the glass itself, right? Earlier there used to be 12 feet by 8 feet as the maximum size. I think in India today we have capability to manufacture 6 meter by 3.2 meter in one go. Like one panel itself can be that big. If you ask me, can that entire panel be used on the facade as a single panel? No. But what is the point of having this is it will improve the efficiency in terms of reducing wastage, right? So there has been innovations in handling of these glasses, because to handle that jumbo glass you need different equipment. So those innovations have come in place, and just to see that kind of, every architect should actually go and see the how a glass is made. That itself is a very innovative process, and you will get to see from sand how this transparent material is being made, right? And seeing a glass as big as 6 meter by 3.2 meter, I think that is one of the innovations that comes to my mind in terms of reducing wastages while using the cut sheet for your windows and facade. So that's the first innovation. Second innovation, in terms of product properties, I already told you about selectivity. But there is this product called electrochromic glass, right? A glass which can change its selectivity properties, like in terms of solar heat gain coefficient. It can reduce the solar heat gain coefficient and light transmission based on the heat and light that is there in the atmosphere outside. So that is called as a smart glazing, and electrochromic glass is the technical name of that product. I think the brand name is called Sage Glass, right? So that product has been used in some of the unique projects in India. I think Google's headquarters, that Google's buildings, commercial building that is coming up in India, their office, that will be one of the largest projects in the world. The Indian project, but that will be one of the largest projects in the world to have used electrochromic glass across the facade, right? And that it's good that we have that innovation available today in the market, which can tint itself, like how you have photochromic glass for your for your spectacles. That is electrochromic for the facade. So that is the second innovation. And third, in terms of coatings, there are coatings which are less reflective. I think Nikhil sir mentioned about the reflection as a problem, external reflection. This is a different problem. The internal reflection, when it is higher, because many coatings when you do on the glass, you will see a mirror image of the interiors and yourself in the evening and when you switch on the light. Unique property of glasses, whichever side is brighter, that will be visible from any side you see. Right? In the morning time, through the glass, you are seeing outside because you are getting sunlight. That is any day brighter, right? But in the evening time, it will be night time and you won't have the sun. So what is the source of light? There is an intense interior source of light that is there, which will be brighter than the outside. So that's why even from outside, if you see, the inside will be visible because the interior light is where the higher intensity is there. So the outside viewers also see, we can see the interiors clearly. Unfortunately, the occupants who are there inside the building will also see their mirror reflection because the inside is only more brighter. So to overcome this, the maximum you can do is play with the internal reflections of the product. And there are products in the market today which can have lower internal reflection compared to a regular product. It can have a lower internal reflection, and I think that kind of an innovation can also be helpful in having better views and transparency. So that's why looking for these numbers is very critical. If you take a clear glass 6 even that is not zero reflection, that also will have an 8% internal reflection and external reflection. There are products in the market which have lower numbers than that, 4%, 5%, etc., lesser than it. So this is a number that you can see. Either look for closer to clear glass or less than that is something that you can look for. And if I have to name the last innovation, it is the low embodied carbon glass using higher recycle content and innovations in materials. If a regular glass, if you take 6 glass, 1 square meter will be 20 kgs per square meter embodied carbon. But with innovation today, you have products made in India which can be more than 50% more lesser carbon footprint than 20 kg, which is single digit numbers. So 20 kgs is 2 digit. You have products which are single digit embodied carbon made in India. So I think these are 4 innovations, and I look forward to more innovation in that direction. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That was very interesting to know. Mr. Nikhil, my next question is for you. What role does innovation in fabrication and treatment play in increasing the strength of glass today?
So the main thing is heat treatments. So heat treatments, and actually the glass is heated for 600 degrees Celsius, I guess. Yeah, 600 degrees Celsius, and then it's rapidly cooled down. So this makes 4 to 5 times stronger, as we discussed before. And so as Venugopal said, that nano coating gives the hydrophobic effect. So it's like self-cleaning. So while doing this kind of this large buildings and all, the maintenance is the main thing. So we can do like that nano coating glasses to give that hydrophobic effect. So it's very interesting to use like that actually. And that heat treatment, so I already have covered, I guess.
Yes, sir. Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Asim. So, what challenges do architects face when relying on glass as a key structural element?
I think this platform is a perfect one to offload our trouble to Mr. Venugopal, who is kind of doing a research on glass. So yes, although it's like an amazing material to use, let me briefly let's talk about the good part of the glass. We already discussed about the transparency in nature. Ease of work. Installation time is much lesser than the conventional materials, but so and so forth. But at the same time, primary concern is the climate and the safety part. In most of the cases, although in commercial buildings it's not a big deal, but for residential buildings, we find it very difficult to convince clients that the glass is completely safe. It's much safer than a 5-inch brick wall, and also it can withstand the climatic condition. We have something called Kalboishaki in Bengal, which is like an intense cyclone which comes every year, once in a year, and so those are so intense that in some of the high-rise buildings also you find shattered glasses in higher floors. I think the primary two things which needs to be targeted, and also transfer of knowledge to be done properly. We an architect also are in a position where we don't have much knowledge about the upgradation or the development in the glass industry. So yes, climate is one major part, and then safety is the second, the biggest part. So this is somehow has to be engraved in our practice or in our mind that yes, glass is no longer a brittle, delicate material. It has got not equivalent, but at least like a strength which where you can use glass as a structural material. So yeah, primarily it would be those two points to be discussed when we talk about the concerns in convincing people to use glass.
True, sir, very true. So, Mr. Venugopal, how does the choice of coatings, films, or treatments on glass contribute to energy efficiency and sustainability?
Yeah. So it's one of the areas where I think every architects and whoever chooses glass for their own projects and needs to know there are so many types of coatings that are there that can be done on glass. The broad classification is online coating and offline coating. Online coating means when the glass is being made, when the raw glass is made, it's called as a float line. In the float line itself, you deposit some chemicals on the surface of the glass so that the glass gets the property to reduce the heat coming inside. So that is called as an online coating, also called pyrolysis. The other broad technology difference is the offline coating, where after the raw glass is coming out of the float, you cut it into required sizes. After the glass is cut, you take to another line called the coater line. And there you can, have more flexibility in terms of coating multiple layers. Different performance can be altered by different thickness and different materials that can get coated on the glass. So that's a more sophisticated technology compared to online. In India, both technologies are available. Online coating is a slightly older technology and conventional technology. It has its own limitations. You can only have so much variation and so much performance that can be achieved through online. So if you see many small, projects where you have very less glass, and that product also will be very reflective. The product itself is of a nature because it is coated at 600 degrees Celsius. It will be a very reflective product. And all these parameters I told you till now, the solar factor, U value, light transmission, internal reflection, external reflection, all these parameters can be adjusted based on the product design. When I say product design, the coating design, in the offline coating, much better. So there can be 300 to 400 different variants that can be made with one coater line in, one coater manufacturing line. So the variety, the performance, everything is superior in an offline coated product. So that's the broad classification. From a user standpoint, they need to look at these five numbers. Light transmission, how much light is going to come through the glass. If it's a lower window to wall ratio, look for a higher light transmission. If it is a higher window to wall ratio, look for a lower light transmission. There is this notion that glass will need to be as clear as possible, right? It is good to have that notion. From outside, if you want it to be clear, then you need a very high light transmission glass. But the challenge you will face is with higher light transmission, if you don't do a coating, the heat also will be higher. So if you don't do a proper coating done on the glass, you will not get that heat cut or a solar control in a clear glass. So you need to look for high selective coatings, which also lets in light and cuts down heat. That's where silver based products, like I mentioned, double silver, single silver based coatings will help you in improving the light transmission and reducing the heat cut, right? So that's the first number, light transmission. Second number is the solar heat gain coefficient. For a clear glass, the solar heat gain coefficient is 0.88. If you make a double glaze unit, it will come to 0.75 or 0.76. My memory is slightly lesser. It's been 1.5 years since I actively practiced choosing glass. Then if you look at the, a single glazed with a coating, it can range from 0.1 to 0.8, depending on the type of coating. Look at the variety I'm talking about, right? In offline coating, in a double glazing also, it can vary between zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.8 depending upon the type of coating. So better the coating, lower the number for solar factor. For India, you need to look for numbers which are less than zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.4, depending on how much glass you are using and what orientation, etc. There are standards that are available, like the Energy Conservation and Sustainability Building Code, which is from the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, right? So the latest version is from 2024, which gives you a prescriptive approach saying if your window to wall ratio is so much, use glass which has lesser solar factor than so and so, and which has a minimum light transmission of so and so, etc. So all that is prescribed in the ECSBC. So if an architect doesn't know anything about all of this, the first document I would suggest is go download the ECSBC from the BE website, and they will get a very good idea of what glass to use and what materials to use. It is not only about glass. ECSBC is a more broader standard, but there they also speak about glass because glass has an impact on energy efficiency. The third number is the U value. U value depends upon how much heat enters due to the temperature difference. So that's why double glaze unit became very famous, because double glaze unit will have half the U value of a clear glass single glaze unit. And through coatings, you can also reduce the U value. So for India, you need both lower solar factor and a lower U value. So look for products that have lesser solar factor and lesser U value. And for guidance, you can look for standards like ECSBC, and many of these green building standards like IGBC, Griha, LEED. They also refer to standards like ECSBC and ASHRAE. So there, if you go and see based on the window to wall ratio, they would have recommended what should be the maximum solar factor U value. So that will be my approach to how to look at design from these technical parameters of glass.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that. My next question is to Mr. Asim. So, how do environmental factors like wind and heat affect your choice and use of high performance glass?
Uh, okay. So I think this is the genesis, like the primary reason for having different kinds of glasses. We in India we're gifted with various climatic zones. So we were doing one project for government of India where we had to recognize different climatic zones and then the ideal design for a residential home. This was just a pilot project which never got executed. So we had to figure out the best possible orientation and design, which includes like placing of thermal mass on which side makes the building more efficient and so on and so forth. So what we realized that every part of India needs a different kinds of glass. So for example, north where you need actually a better glass with a better thermal property. Like in some of the areas, say for example in northern India's, the old age practice was to have chrome walls to trap the heat and then re-radiate back into the inner space at need and during the night time. So we kind of have to have glass which correlates to those kinds of temperature and weather. For example, in northern parts, we need to have a high performance glass. For the coastal regions where the corrosion due to salinity in the air is more, we need to have some kind of film or laminated glass so that we can reduce that factor. In the areas which is prone to cyclone very frequently needs to have a better strength, a glass which can resist to a better wind load. And yes, I think this also is the primary factor for having different kinds of glass in our research industry design. These are factors which drives our design for having different kinds of glass. So yes, that definitely is a very crucial part. Having different elements, different kinds of glass in different environment is very, very crucial.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. That was very true, sir. Mr. Nikhil, in your opinion, what is the most exciting trend in glass design today that young architects should pay attention to?
Yeah, that's a good question. But there are a lot of exciting trends nowadays. So I cannot say the particular thing. So I can say those nowadays the young architect like us, so they have to be select very dynamic and multifunctional glazing system. So that's what I can feel, and they can use the smart glass, that kind of adaptive glazing system we can plan.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Similarly, Mr. Venugopal, what is one key piece of advice you would give to young and upcoming architects who want to make a real impact using sustainable glass in their design?
Okay, so I have two pieces of advice. One is upskill yourself on different materials because each material gives you an opportunity to innovate, opportunity to, if you choose it rightly, you can also have an opportunity to have impact on your projects. And through that, for your clients, your future clients, they will be more comfortable, they will be happy, right? So I think part of an architect's job is to also ensure that you build comfortable, safe spaces for your clients, right? That's one of the key aspects why your clients come to an architect, right? So that is something, if you have to do it properly, you need to get upskilled on many of these aspects. I told you already about the safety, sustainability, and aesthetics. All the three are important when you choose a product, and for glass also it applies. And the second piece of advice is around knowing what range works for what kind of project, right? So understanding the requirement is the first aspect. Based on the requirement, break it down into technical blocks. The first technical block can be whether is it north-south orientation or east-west orientation. Starts from the orientation. Then how much glass is used, what is the window to wall ratio, what are the regulations asking for. Regulations, when I say, it can be the local bylaws or the energy conservation and sustainability building code, or the NBC, the national building code is going to get revised from 2016. The 2025 version is going to come. So everybody is eager to know what's going to be part of the part 6, section 8, what is going to be there in the glazing aspect of the NBC. So look at one product from all these angles: safety, sustainability, and aesthetics, by upskilling yourself on these topics. And also know about topics like embodied carbon, because these are all uh, see, the operational carbon can be optimized. Operational carbon is your energy consumed due to HVAC and electricity, that can be optimized through retrofit, etc. But embodied carbon is the carbon footprint of your materials. Once it is locked in, you cannot reduce it. Even if you do retrofit, it will only increase the embodied carbon. And more than 50% of buildings of 2050 are yet to be built, and young architects are going to be working on those projects. So at the drawing board, making informed decisions is what I would request all the young architects and professionals who are seeing these webinars. So that's one request. First is upskill yourself, know about the regulation and the numbers, and be wary of upcoming topics like embodied carbon, so that you could apply them in your material choice and design. So these are my points from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. We are coming towards the end of the webinar. And to end the webinar on an interesting note, we have prepared a rapid fire round where I will ask each of you four questions, which you can answer in a short sentence or in one word. We'll start with Mr. Asim. So, what is one word that describes your design approach with glass?
Um, Transparency.
Okay. One building that inspires your glass design approach.
I would like to choose Lotus Temple because it's not only about the glass but also integration of the glass with the mass, the design. Yes.
That's good, sir. So, if you could invent a new type of glass, what property would it have?
Oh, a smart kind of glass which can adjust itself based on the climate, the weather. So a self-cooling kind of glass. I don't know whether it's possible, but I would love to have that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir. What is one material you love pairing with glass for aesthetics or performance?
Oh, we recently did one, the fabric and the glass, and it worked really well.
Okay, very interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Nikhil, the next set of questions is for you. What's the most impressive example of structural glass you've ever seen?
I can say that Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus T2 Mumbai. Mumbai.
Okay,
That's a
yes.
perfect example. Mhm.
What is one word that defines the strength of glass?
Resilience.
Yes. A material that you think pairs best with glass.
Aluminum.
And if you could redesign a famous building entirely with just glass, which building would it be?
That can be that Anna Library in Chennai.
Yes, sir, that's good. Okay, Mr. Venugopal, the final set of questions is for you.
Yes.
What is one future trend in glass that excites you the most?
I think the technology for more recyclability of glass, where post consumer recycle content after the end of life of the project, how we can handle the glass. So that kind of technology is what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. What is the most impressive use of glass you have seen in a building?
In a building. Okay, so I am a fan of Zaha Hadid's work, and in India there was one project in Chennai, which is called as the India Lands project, and I think now it's renamed as Chennai Tech Park. So the way it has been designed and they have used glass in that project is very unique. It's a curved building with ceramic fritting, and there are multiple technical challenges that were there in that project, but I think it's one of the most impressive piece of work with glass.
Okay. If you could collaborate with any architect purely on a glass project, what
Okay.
project would it be?
I think that will be the same project which Nikhil ji said, because that project is very close to my heart. During my college days in Anna Centenary Libraries, where we go and do reference work. So a lot of literature review I did from that place. And that was designed, if I'm not wrong, by Padma Shri Dr. Raghavendran sir from CRN. So if there's a chance to work with him, that will be a honor for me.
Oh, that is so great. So, last question. If you could showcase one glass project globally as a benchmark, which project would it be?
Okay, so I think I have already taken one project in India. I think the Louvre project in Paris, that I think that is something that is very unique, and I have not visited there, but that's something that I look forward to. And also the Saint Gobain Towers is very unique. They have used glass throughout and multiple technologies they have deployed in that tower. It's both of the projects are in Paris, but whenever I go there, I would like to see both these projects.
That's great. Thank you, sir. And with that wonderful round, we come to the end of this special webinar. Thank you so much to all our speakers, Mr. Nikhil Richard, Mr. Asim Bikash, and Mr. Venugopal R, for this truly insightful and enriching discussion. We have had the chance to hear from the experts involved in India's evolving approach to architecture and sustainability. From examining how high performance glass combines structural strength with sustainability to exploring its impact on design, transparency, and energy efficiency, today's conversation has explored how architecture can balance strength, transparency, and responsibility. On this World Architecture Day, we celebrate not just buildings, but the ideas, innovation, and dedication that shapes them, showcasing glass as a multifaceted material of both strength and sustainability, shaping the architecture of tomorrow. To all the students and young professionals joining us, we hope this session sparks curiosity, deepens understanding, and inspires you to experiment boldly while designing responsibly. Let us continue turning innovative ideas into meaningful architecture, creating spaces that are both strong and sustainable for the communities we serve. Thank you for being part of this session, and we look forward to welcoming you again in the next edition of the Class Academy webinars. Thank you.